evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vazquez. I got Anderson from inside Yonkers. How you doing, Yonkers? This is episode 2 of City Talk. Something that we Anderson and I came up with, and we're doing every Thursday. Trying to get it started at 8 o'clock. My wife just walked in with food, and then I try to stuff it down real quick. But how you doing, Anderson? How's everything?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I was just on a little bit ago on Basement Politics, and I was talking about someone sent me pictures of dog poop that people are just leaving on the street all along Main Street, and they're a bit upset. And I was talking about how now with the influx of people moving into the rentals, a lot of people from the city, they're bringing their dogs with them and stuff. So I'm starting to see a lot of people walking with their dogs and stuff. But that's something I want to talk about tonight. And, I know there's some stuff you wanted to discuss. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was, the changes that are happening here in the city of Yonkers. Hello, Shonda. How you doing? That's happening in the city of Yonkers. All the developments that are coming in. Small businesses are being forced to close down. We got new businesses coming in like Starbucks, right? And then we have small businesses like Bougie Brews, which is a coffee shop.
Chick-fil-A trying to fit in.
What's that?
Chick-fil-A on Central Avenue is trying to fit in,
I'm not too mad with that, though. I like Chick-fil-A. I have another home out in the Midwest, and they have Chick-fil-A all over there. So whenever we're there, we get it. I'm not too upset about that. At least that gives people, gives everybody an opportunity for different food. But the luxury apartments, some of the businesses, the movie studios and stuff that are coming in, and also something that a person mentioned to me is that gonna, we mentioned this, is that one of the reasons why response times are increasing among first responders? I know we were talking about the Empress response time increasing, but yesterday evening there was a drunk driver who hit a bunch of cars along McLean, and a baby was in one of the cars, and it took a long time for police or someone to show up, ambulance to show up. So they were, upset about that, and they were wondering what's going to happen when all these developments are done, all the people are in there. Is that going to cause more, police calls, ambulance calls, fire calls, and that's going to, hold up response time? What do you think about that?
We were talking about that the first episode and on Basement Politics. It's the fire department is already behind 5 fire companies as it is. We talked about Empress response times. They're not keeping up. They're able to keep up. That's not the problem. It's what they're doing with the units that they're supposed to have in Yonkers. They're diverting them to interfacility transfers. But to your point is you have these luxury apartments that are supposed to fill in 900 units, right? So that can be 900 more families, right? So it's just not enough. It's not going to be enough until the city starts restructuring public safety, and it's just not going to happen until some change is done. Especially with Empress, is in their new contract, they're asking for less oversight. It's
less oversight. Well, they need more oversight according to what's been happening. But I want to know what people think, especially people on the inside Yonkers who may be watching now or new to City Talk. But just everybody, I would like to know in the comments section, because I want to talk about it. I want to read some of you guys' comments. How do you feel about the changes that are happening in Yonkers? Because we're starting to see them now more and more. They're becoming a lot more obvious. I remember there was a point where there were talks, right? They're talking about doing this. They're talking about doing that. They were talking about building a baseball field at Chicken Island, but that's not happening no more. Now it's a bunch of luxury apartments that are going to be going up with it's mixed use with some retail space at the bottom. That was the reason why they moved the fire department in the first place. So I want to know what people think. What do you guys think out there, Yonkers? I want to know, what do you guys, how do you feel about the changes, the developments that are going up on the waterfront, on Chicken Island, Long Warburton, where, they closed down some stores, Legacy Denim, Yummy Yummies was forced to close down, Pablo, the bodega. Your mic is not on.
I love that Chinese restaurant, Yummy Yummy.
Yeah, everybody said it was the best in Yonkers. It was Yummy Yummy, wasn't it, huh?
Yeah, I was off of Landmartine when I was a child, and I would go straight there. I'd take the walk, even in the snow. It was worth it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was that. It really was good. But I want to know what people think. You know, a lot of people were upset when I did a video on Warburton discussing it. It got, 8,000 views. So I want to know what the people of Yonkers think. Do you like what's happening? Do you not like what's happening? Why? You know, let us know. Put in a comment there. I want to read some stuff. I really want to know how people feel about that. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Because it was supposed to be a good thing, right? It's supposed to bring a lot of jobs. Lionsgate was supposed to bring a lot of jobs, but I don't know if that's really happening. Where are the jobs?
You don't have a lot of people um, that have that kind of experience for Lionsgate that are from Yonkers.
Right.
There's no programs. There's no type of education for the type of jobs there is at Lionsgate. So obviously, what are they going to do? They're going to bring people that are experienced from outside, like New York City. Now, like you mentioned before, New York City people are coming in. They want they're going to move into these luxury apartments, which is what it is. It's for them, people that are working at Lionsgate.
Absolutely. And a lot of people in Yonkers, they think that it's for them. Like they're excited, yo, we're gonna live by the waterfront and all that stuff. And but a lot of people have been evicted recently. They increased the rent, and that caused a lot of people to have to move out because they couldn't afford it. I heard that a lot of eviction notices were being sent out to people. And so I think they're gonna continue to increase the rent until they price just a certain group of people out. I think for now they want certain people so they can make the money, but eventually they want people out and they're going to increase the prices even more. They're selling a duplex on North Broadway by Shawner Place over there near Gorton for $1.8 million. That's crazy. $1.8 million. So that tells you who are the people that are going to be coming into Yonkers, right? So the people that are, from Yonkers thinking that, I'm going to do, eventually they're going to price that to where they're going to push people on. Like you said, I mentioned it's going to be for the movie studio people. They're going to come in, they're going to rent those places out. They're going to be here for 2-3 years while the movie's being made. And then they're going to go, new sets of people coming in. They also have Syracuse, the university. There's going to be a lot of college students that are going to be needing, rentals. And I know I used to live in a college town and stuff. So we definitely need apartments, yeah, 1.8.
You mentioned the 1.8 million, right? That's in the same area that the new school's going in, if you think about it.
What new school is that?
The one at the old Foxfire School.
Where's Foxfire School at?
Off of North Broadway.
Oh yes. Yeah. It's not too far from there. Yeah, it's closer though to Gordon and Charnard over there. It's not like where I think it's the Ukraine Center. It was there. They've actually built a couple of them, and so they're going now. They listed for $1.8 million. That's crazy to me. So I want to know. So this is what I'm trying to show folks that eventually they're going to push people out. I mean, this is going to be a whole totally new, different group of people. So, I want to know what people are feeling. They're already feeling like it's not good. It's not for them. It's gentrification. They're pushing a certain kind of people out. The schools need a lot of attention, but they're not getting that much attention. There's a need for affordable housing, more than luxury housing. They're building a 76 unit, 79 unit affordable housing building on Main Street. And then they're only giving that building 24 parking spaces, but 74 or 79 compared to almost 1,500 that are going up near Buena Vista and Hudson Street. That's a huge difference.
In addition to the parking lot for Kawasaki, is going to go up on Woodworth now.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do a lot of stuff on Woodworth. That whole area has been bought up, and that's what I'm telling people, folks. Woodworth, all of Warburton, down where DJ Khaled was at. I know DJ Khaled was in Yonkers not too long ago. Shout out to DJ Khaled. But that area is, I said it was like the last hurrah, the final, final, part of the play, a final act, of that area, because it's going to be gentrified and completely different. And it ends with, DJ Khaled. They need to make low-income house for the people of Yonkers. We can't afford $1,000 for a one-bedroom apartment and help us seniors that are disabled and only get $1,000 a month from Social Security disability. That is why people are homeless. You're right, absolutely. That's definitely one of the reasons why people are homeless. Again, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to be pricing people out, but they're not building more affordable housing, right? Because they're selling all the space that the city has to the luxury guys. So instead, what that's going to cause is people to leave Yonkers altogether. And, $1,000 for a one bedroom, You go down to the waterfront, a one bedroom is running you $3,000 for
I want
that.
to know what Casey means. What's gonna be nice soon? I want to
It'll
know.
be nice. Yeah, the air is definitely going to be nice. It's going to absolutely be nice. But the problem with the way they're making it nice is that in order to do that, they're having to push, a certain, amount of people out. Certain residents, certain businesses are going to be pushed out. And so, why couldn't it be made nice with the people that were there, right? And then, I say that there's people that say, well, well, the people didn't take care of it, because I hear this from people, right? Oh, well, they didn't take care of it. But it's so much deeper than that, right? It's just so much deeper and so much more complex. I mean, when you don't provide people with opportunities and resources and an educational system that they can really benefit from and really excel, right? Because you look at a lot of people. I grew up in Buena Vista, Southwest Yonkers, back in the 90s, late 80s. It was rough. I grew up on welfare, roaches and rats in the building, but I was fortunate enough to be able to break the cycle of poverty, as they say, because I left Yonkers and I went to a place where the school district was amazing, the public school district, and it offered a lot of opportunities that the kids there were able to take advantage of. And of course, they're going to succeed, right? They got exposed to so much more. Where here in Yonkers, we got no sports, no music, cheerleading, nothing. I used to go to pep rallies, homecoming dances, the proms and all that. I mean, it was big. A helicopter would land in the field, certain football games, Friday night lights. I had that whole experience, rallies in the schools, the day of the game. And that's something that really, changes people. It changed me. I came from the hood. I didn't care. I'm on Woburn, chilling. I used to live out, whatever. Then I come over here, and it didn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, everybody was into it and everybody was planning on going to college. And here I am like, oh, college? Oh, shoot, I got to think about that, So they don't offer these things for the kids here, the youth here, to get them on that track, but yet they expect them to do so much, right? And it's like kind of they set them up for failure. What do you think?
It's an entire setup. I think it's all started maybe 2007, 2008. That's when everything. I'm a 2010 Gordon guy. Um, I think I think it's ridiculous, man. But in addition to the sports, you mentioned sports. We have Yonkers Force and Yonkers Brave, which is a mixture of all the schools to varsity teams, and they're doing phenomenal right now.
Yeah, I don't want to, actually put down what they have doing. I appreciate the effort. And I think that, the police department and fire department got with Dr. Casada and they put that together. Actually, they had a game this weekend over at Roosevelt, I believe, but it's still a limited program, right? And then it doesn't give more kids opportunities, right? So you're limited, and there's so many more kids that would like to be on the team. And even where I went to high school, they started football in 6th and 7th grade. They already had programs. I went into a pilots program where I went to the airport for the second half of the day, and I got to learn how to fly planes and stuff, because that's what I wanted to be at one point, a pilot. So just things like that expose people, to different things, and they just don't have that. They lack that here. So kids are just left wandering. They don't even get provided transportation in high school. There was 5 of us on the bus in high school, because a lot of the kids, they had cars over there. I was, we were poor, so I was one of 5 on the bus, but they still gave us a long bus. Right now, they give the kids public transportation where they have to pay for that if they don't qualify for, subsidies. And then the buses just drop everyone off in Getty Square, right? Like, the buses should be dropping them off near their home so they can go home, drop them off in the square. You don't know what's going on nowadays. Kids, they say, what do you call it? I forgot the term is the free time is the devil's playground. We have to give kids something productive to do. I left Yonkers when the pandemic hit. Best decision I made for my children. I still have family out there, so I hope things get better. I'm sure you see so much of a difference, Alba, when you go out of Yonkers, right? And the thing is that a lot of people out there are not even paying as much in taxes. They're not paying as much, or they're not making as much in their salaries, but they still get so much more. So, that's what's going to happen. A lot of people are just going to be going out of Yonkers. The mixing with all the schools makes it more difficult for kids to play. Right, exactly. It limits them, in the who can get on the team and stuff. And and so there's a need for 3 new schools. They're building one over on McLean, the old St. Dennis building, but they still need 2 more. and a lot of the schools need renovations. They're talking about a big school over by the Leak and Watts, like a film magnet high school, to be partnered up with Lionsgate, but I don't know when that's going to come. And so,
It
I
makes
mean, what do you
no
say?
sense how they would come up with this school after Lionsgate is built.
What's that?
It wouldn't make it doesn't make any sense how they want to do this school now after Lionsgate is built. It's complete, it's reverse, it's backwards.
Right. And the school's only going to be for 300 to 600 students, right? Which seems like a lot. But let's say they do 300, right? A lot of kids, this is going to be a brand new school. It's going to have a film program. It's supposed to be next to the studio. So a lot of kids in Yonkers are going to want to go to the school. And you know how it is, parents, if you have a kid in the school and you have to, choose which school you want, you hoping and praying that you get your first selection. A lot of people are going to put that as their number one. Right. So it's going to be, tough. And then, you have certain people that get certain special privileges, their kids will get in. And so, and I was thinking, why not the city had taken that land, because they're going to be renting for 20 years to have the school there. Why didn't they take the land, right, instead of having Lionsgate buy it, or Joe Cotter, the guy, buy it, and then build a big school for like 2,000 kids, big, brand new, state-of-the-art high school, film school, and then had partnered up with Lionsgate and Syracuse, but then have them pay the rent for what they use on the land. That way we could have more money for the schools as well, instead of paying rent, right? So I don't understand why that was done that way.
But they're not paying anything. We had magnet schools. But those are some of the programs that were taken away when they started all the budget cuts.
We need magnet school. Kids need to learn trades soon, not later. Absolutely. I agree with that. And yeah, I mean, there was that point in time when everything was just, taken away. There was some issues with the budget, so teachers were fired, the music, the arts, the sports, all that was taken away. And now they're trying to slowly build that back up. But I don't know how much of a real effort they're putting into it, because, casino, the Empire City Casino was supposed to bring a lot of money for the schools. Where has that money gone? What has that done? Now we have these developers and these developments that were supposed to be good for the city. They're supposed to bring a lot of money and businesses. They even said, oh, the business owners, you guys are going to get businesses because people are coming in. Well, you're forcing them to close. They're not even going to be here, right? And the developers are getting tax breaks. That's so, that we're getting shorted on the taxes there. So how is that really going to benefit the people? And then they talk about jobs, and a gentleman mentioned there lower crime, more jobs, and opportunity in general. But let's be honest. I mean, it seems like crime is up. There was just a shooting the other day that I covered.
Crime is up everywhere.
Crime is up everywhere.
Something you cannot avoid. Whether you have the most cops or the least cops, you're always going to have crime wherever you go. That's right. Something that people just have to accept. Now, there's ways of preventing, most of crime, if that makes sense. Just more jobs. Yeah, that's going to be really hard right now, because small businesses are being kicked out. These corporate companies are being brought in. Like, for example, I mentioned earlier, Lionsgate came in, but there's nobody from Yonkers of experience in that stuff. So no one was prepared for that. So it's impossible right now.
Yeah, you need like 5 years of experience or something like that. And they want you to be fully vaccinated, and you have to be in the union, the film union.
And as we know, most jobs right now in Yonkers are non-union.
Yeah, right. And that's another thing with the construction jobs, right? And that's what I was going to say too. They say more jobs, but for who? Who's getting the jobs? A lot of these construction companies are coming from out of state, Connecticut, and like you mentioned, they're non-union jobs. Local labor has had an issue with this. They've protested, about it. They've been upset with the Yonkers City Council, and the issue, with the tax breaks that they get is that in order for them to get those tax breaks, which are called pilots, payment in lieu of taxes, right? That they're supposed to give jobs to people in the area of that where they're getting the tax break from, right? Which is Yonkers. So you're supposed to give the jobs to the people of Yonkers in order to get those tax breaks, and that's not happening. But they're getting the tax breaks, right? So that's not really. And yes, crime is up everywhere. We're going through some crazy times here in our country, But also when you start to bring in more people and you start to, overcrowd a place, that also is going to increase crime naturally, right? And that's going to increase a lot of other things in general. So that's not helping as well when they're stuffing everybody down in the waterfront. There was one in Mount Vernon the other day, as per News 12.
There was yes,
Oh,
there
the
was a
job fair.
job fair at the library at Larkin Plaza today. It was for disabled people, um, and it was limited to, I think, about 30 to 40 candidates only. Do you want to know how much people actually showed up? Just about over 200.
That's good.
Yeah, but it brings awareness to how many are limited to getting jobs. There's not many. There's only 40 out of over 200 disabled people that are looking for jobs in Yonkers
Right.
that probably don't even meet the requirements for the job.
And these are people that I'm sure they're looking for a job. So obviously they need affordable housing, which is something that is also not being offered much here in the city of Yonkers. So that I would have said that they bring in all these developments. She said they knew exactly what they were doing when they started with their plans. They want people to leave to fix it their way. Absolutely right, Alba. Correct. And that's why they're not fixing the schools, really. That's why they're not bringing in jobs. That's why they're not putting up a more affordable housing. It's mostly luxury. And the average person in Yonkers, according to statistics, makes $35,000 a year. The average one-bedroom luxury apartment is $35,000 a year for the rent. So they can't even afford it because they come up $1,000 short, the average person.
You gotta pay
So
for
why
food,
bring all that in?
gas, electricity.
Right.
It's impossible. It's
Right.
just,
They come at negative. They be under. Yeah. Right. So that obviously, like she said, they knew what they were doing. They were bringing this in because they said, you know what, we're going to push these people out. 75% of the students in the Yonkers public schools are living at or below the poverty line. So that means that 75% of the students, their families, are the people that are being pushed out or that they're looking to push out by bringing in these luxury developments. So if you push out a lot of that 75%, you're ultimately shrinking down the school district anyway. And I think that's the goal. That's just my opinion. I think the goal is to shrink down the school district, kick a certain amount of people out, and just have a certain group here, especially by the waterfront. The homes are becoming more expensive. People can't buy a house here in New York. It's crazy. You're in Florida, so I'm sure it's a little better over there. But Florida has been getting expensive too. All the New Yorkers are moving there.
vice versa. Vice versa. But it's getting expensive everywhere. Look at the cost of food. It's a ShopRite. You people were used to getting $2, $3, $4 1 pound of meat. Now it's $7, $8, $9. It even with food stamps, EBT recipients, they can they're limited. Nobody can afford anything. So everything's going up. It's ridiculous and it sucks. Thankfully, gas is going down a little bit.
I hear that they're looking to even increase the rent in the Nodine Hill section of Yonkers, right? So either the developer or the people are going to have to get more money from the government who are getting assistance in order to pay these higher rents, or they're going to have to move. It's more important for the developers to make money. Forget about the kids. They drop all those kids in Getty Square. It's like it's a slave plantation. Yeah, it's definitely. So yeah, and then the seniors too. Tell me, you want the seniors also a population that we have to make sure we don't forget as well. They require affordable housing as well. Yeah. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
there you go.
So the senior citizens, yeah, apparently there's a crisis with the senior citizens ongoing right now, where their buildings are not being taken care of, maintained.
I'm sorry. Somebody put, if you don't come to an agreement to leave and close your business down, believe me, you will be found floating in the Hudson. That's crazy. People tell you, watch your back, watch your back. The seniors, are definitely a vulnerable population. They're actually, somebody contacted me in regards to seniors over in District 4 and their community center there in the Bernice Breckman Center. And they actually wanted to call up the show and talk about that. I wonder if they, let me see if they're calling though. But tell me about the seniors, because we definitely have to make sure that we don't forget about our senior.
We cannot forget about our seniors. They were here before us. We have to take care of them like they took care of us. Made sure everything was being taken care of for our arrival. So
I have
on the
someone on
scene,
the phone now who wants to talk
there you
about
go.
the seniors. Her name is Carolyn Marie. I'm sorry, Carolyn Elizabeth Marie. I always want to say the other way around. She wants to join us really quick, talk a little bit about the seniors and what's going on over in District 4. That's John Rubo, Councilman John Rubo. And it's very important for people to know who killed the affordable housing ordinance. That was Tasha Diaz. So make sure you guys don't forget that, who did that. So anyway, folks,
Chancleta lady.
yeah, Chancleta lady, the flip flopper, because she told us all she was going to support affordable housing. And then I don't know what happened there. I'm trying to get you on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear? Can you
Yes, I can.
can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
her?
me?
Anderson? Okay,
Hello?
yeah. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
Hi, Freddie. How are you? Good
Good. How
evening,
you doing?
Yonkers. Good, good.
Tell us
So
what's going on with the seniors over there in District 4. I know that Ron Mattin wanted to, kind of see what he can do and see if he can help out there, but he was told to stay out of District 4.
well, I basically have I have a lot going on with other things. These seniors are amazing people. We have engineers, we have superintendents. One of the seniors, she was the head of all the teachers down in New York City. She was head administrator. So, we discussed it. And at this point, I have other things that I'm doing. So they've reached out to other people in the community to say, hey, would you like to help us? So yes, they have. They're trying to get other people to help them
Right.
because unfortunately the other senior centers have had their board meeting, but they were not able to have their board meeting.
So tell us what's going on over there. Actually, start from like the beginning. People may not know what's happening over in District 4. That's Councilman John Rubo's district, and the Bernice Breckman Center. What's been happening there?
Well, what I can definitely tell you about is that back during the pandemic, they called me because they found out there was going to be a dog park next door to their little area. So not that anybody's against dog parks, because I just had a woman recently attack me on Facebook and say to me, "You're the reason we don't have a dog park." And I'm like, no, there's a perfect spot for the dog park on the other side of Coin, which is a broken up driveway that would be beautiful.
Right.
And I said it was about health issues, and where it was located. That was the issue. So, but it turned out that a year before that, they were already meeting with politicians, leaving petitions to the mayor, to all the city councilmen in their district saying, hey, we have a problem. The bathrooms aren't ADA accessible. We had the senior that unfortunately had an accident.
And really quick, ADA accessible means like handicap accessible. So,
Yes,
they have to, all buildings, especially public buildings, have to be able to have, bathrooms that are accessible to those who are handicapped, who may have walkers, wheelchairs, or any other, assistance. So this is a senior center, yet it's not ADA compliant, right? So, and some of the seniors have had trouble getting into the stalls, and a senior got hurt, one time, and so that was an issue, among other things.
Well, it was many more times than one time. The stall was, she had an accident, and then the worker there belittled her because she had to clean it up. And they wrote a petition about that worker who's not been nice to them. And that worker's still at the center. And she keeps saying to them, everybody protested, but why isn't anybody here? Why there's only a few people here? Well, a bunch of people don't want to go back because of her,
Right.
And here's the thing. I want to make this very clear. Steven Sassone was not the commissioner at the time. I can't remember. Oh, it
Steve
was
Sassone is the commissioner of the Parks Department here in the city of Yonkers. Just for if you don't know. Now.
Right. Now, not then. We had Landy. I believe it was Landy. And I mean, he's amazing. I mean, the seniors adore him. I respect the man. He's a very nice man, seems very fair. However, I have my opinions on why they haven't, he's kind of stuck, because we've been told that unfortunately, that the councilman does not want them to have their board meetings, doesn't want the board because it's a pain for him for them to speak out. And, it's a shame because the president of the board is a wonderful human being, but he is also best friends with John, the councilman's grandparents. So it divides the board, and it's just heartbreaking.
So
I
they're
said,
trying to get
listen,
rid of the board because the board,
yes,
right? So the seniors, had, had a rally. They had a rally earlier in the year. It was on
yes,
Yonkers Voice. I was there. Not News 12, but Carolyn was there. John Rubo, Steve Sanson, a lot of people from the city were there. And they were trying, protesting because the senior center was not, ready for them to go back after the pandemic. They wanted changes to be made, renovations to be made. They wanted it to be ADA compliant, but they were taking forever. Took a very long time, and it wasn't until you guys rallied that they got things moving along. And then even took a little bit longer, even though they told you it was 2 weeks more. And then that pissed them off, apparently, right? You're saying so now because of that, and because they're kind of, they speak their mind. Now they're looking, elected official John Rubo, you're saying, is looking to break up the board because they are, they're strong. They stand up for their rights.
this
Right.
is what I was told.
So they want to
I can't
oppress
tell
the
you-
seniors.
Right, I can't tell you who told me, but I can tell you this: it was definitely, somebody.
How
that
much
knows
oversight
who
is
know,
there?
And
Has
he said, "Yeah, it's not happening."
has EMS ever been called to the Bernice Bregman Center?
Yes.
How,
Before it was
how many
fixed,
times?
Three times that I'm aware of.
Three
Before it
times?
was, fixed. Yeah, they fell over a hump that was between the two rooms, and they were rushed to the hospital. Nobody sued. But here again, here's the thing. I wasn't even calling in actually for that. I was calling in for what happened on my block last night.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we're clear, I have stepped away from the seniors to try where they. I mean, again, they're not. City council people have said, "Oh, you're manipulating them." Not these.
Right. You're a scammer.
These seniors. Yeah, I'm 54. Like it was sad because I was told, "Hey, they made sure of how old you are that you can't join the center," and I was laughing. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Carolyn, really quick. Anderson here, right? He co-hosts the show with me. He's definitely someone that's been paying attention to the response times of Empress, and the first responders. And so I told him about the incident last night, and you said that it took a long time for someone to show up. And tell me what happens. A drunk driver and they hit a bunch of cars.
Under the influence of something, we're not sure what. Well, we were all in my house ready for bed. All of a sudden, we hear screeching and crunching sounds. We all went running outside, all the neighbors, and a woman was screaming, running up and down the hill. And we're like, "What happened?" Long story short, she was taking her baby out of the car seat and saw the car coming around crazy. So she put the baby back in the car seat, didn't lock the car seat, but slammed the door and went behind the car. The man smashed into the door where the baby is. And she went and then started slamming all the cars on my block and then made a right and started smashing those cars. And then the car was too damaged, couldn't go. So we were outside. I called 911 immediately. And, at first I was upset, but then I calmed down. I said, "Listen,
How long? I'm sorry. How long did they take to get there?
I believe it was 7 minutes. I called back because I'm so used to them we have one
7 minutes.
A station like literally right there. But somebody told me today it could be 6 to 8 minutes is response time. But here's my thing.
What do you think about that, Anderson? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. It's really odd for them to tell you the ETA over the phone if that's what I heard correct. 7 minutes, depending on where in the city and the time of day, it's okay. It's a reasonable timing.
Yeah,
they have 4 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
He's saying that giving you an ETA is not normally what they do. Right, but 7 minutes that's under the 8 minute time, right?
That's okay. That's time.
Yeah, but I hung up. They still weren't there, so I started calling around for anybody that could get the captain's number to get somebody there because we needed an ambulance for the baby. Because the baby, when she grabbed her out of the car, we wanted to make sure that the door was crushed where the baby was, not the seatbelt bolts. And then when we looked on the cameras, the two cars went up in the air.
Well, how long was it till the ambulance got there?
I don't know if it's 8 or 9 minutes. I have to look. But here's the thing: what I was thinking, I am 100% pro responder. I'm like, give them what they want, give them the money they want. I grew up with first responders, especially like either one, firemen or police. Take a fireman. I grew up with a fireman. Our street is named after him. He was at 9/11. Got sick, but he just died recently, right? Left two little boys and a widow. Right. Okay. You don't see, and then his dad died not long after him, and his legs were destroyed. The doctor said from carrying the fire, the oxygen tank. Right. What we're not taking into consideration is we're building all these buildings up.
we're giving them free stuff. Pilots is in lieu of taxes, right? Taxes.
All right. So now you're talking about the developments, though. We're going into developments now.
Right. No.
Right.
What I'm saying is you're building up Yonkers, but are you also having a plan or a survey to show how many more responders you have to hire? Is it going to be equal?
One second, Anderson. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Anderson. You know about that. The fire. You know, you worked along with the fire department for many years since you were a little kid. Do you know anything about? Have they been talking about what they're going to do in terms of being able to, service the incoming flux of people that these developments are bringing? I mean, like you said, that the one on Buena Vista alone, that's 900 units. Are they're looking to hire more? What are the plans?
Let me start off with, Yonkers has one of the most trained and professional fire departments in the entire nation, right? You have these guys and now women that thrive on serving the community, Yonkers. All they want is to serve Yonkers, and like I mentioned earlier, the city is already behind 5 fire companies. That's not a choice. That's because of budget, situation.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, when you say behind 5, you mean they need 5 more firehouses?
They're already behind, the Ridge Hill Firehouse.
Right.
So fire companies can be firehouses, and they can also be additional units to cover busy areas. So it's they want to serve as much as they can. Now they're thank God to the Police and Fire Memorial Fund. They were able to do it without the city's help for this new police and training center that they've already been utilizing for active shooter training, EMS training, fire training, and whatnot. That does not replace the fire academy up in Valhalla. This is just a in-house training facility. So that's a step that they're taking in order to train more firefighters without having them to go all the way to Valhalla. That takes fire out of service to serve.
Not to cut you off, and we're not saying, I know I'm not, and I don't think Carolyn is saying that the firemen don't do a good job. We know that the firemen do a great job, but even if you do a great job and you got the maximum amount of training, if you can't, you can only handle so many calls, right? You can only have, depending on the size, you can only do so many call volume, right? So I think what Carolyn's saying is that, is the city prepared for the increased call volume that, we should anticipate once all of the developments are up? I mean, we're talking about Extel, another 7 buildings over there along the waterfront, Buena Vista, that's 900 units. You got the 230 on Hudson Street. You got the whole Ludlow project. So are they going to hire more to handle the call volume? Because even if you're great, bestly trained, it's still a call volume. You can only get to so many fires, or so many emergencies.
Remember, a lot of people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No. When I called back last night, because usually they're there like, I want to say 4 minutes,
right.
Like immediately. So I called back and I'm like, we have a baby, just send an ambulance. It's a 6-week-old baby. We need an ambulance. And there he goes, there's a lot going on tonight.
Right.
And that's what hit my head, because let me tell you, and I'll say it a million times, I'll write it down, have it notarized.
Right.
Our first responders are amazing. What they do for us that are strangers running into danger, whether gunfire or a fire, okay, we can't pay them enough. Give them what they want. Okay, because guess what? It's never going to be enough for when they finally retire and have to deal with all the mental things they've, mentally what they've seen, or physically, running into these fires with their smoke. That's what nobody thinks about, But going forward, we're already behind 5. You want another term, and this isn't about a name. I'm not going to use a name. I'm talking about a government, an establishment. Let's just stop with the name, okay? So this establishment wants to keep going on, eliminate term limits. Where's our 5 firehouses? You're putting us in danger, and you're putting our first responders in danger. Okay, they need downtime from whichever it is. They need to, be on their own, be with their families, then be able to be refreshed to come back to an extremely stressful job. Somebody needs to be held accountable for not having 5 fire stations. And the Ridge Hill one is, where's the money? This is why I'm here. I mean, I can't account for you, Freddy, and we've talked with, it's similar. Right. It's like, just do right. You want to say to the 100% of a pizza pie, you're taking over 3/4 of it and leaving nothing for the people. Stop, because you're going to cost people their lives. And that's what it was about. That's what I called it, not because of the seniors. I adore them, I respect them, I support them, but I backed off of that. I'm hoping the city does the right thing by them. I did call the mayor's office because the mayor stepped in once before and stopped the dog park. And said as long as he's mayor, won't be there. So I did call the mayor's office. Bianca called me back. She said he's aware. He talked to Steve. He's confident Steve will do the right thing, and if not, they can come back to him.
Right.
But other than that, I'm not. They're doing it on their own, and they're amazing.
I know you've done a lot with the with the seniors and stuff. Big senior advocate in general here in the city of Yonkers, and but last night you saw that happen, and then you started to think about the response time and the increasing population here in the city of Yonkers and the call volumes, because they told you last night was a lot going on. And, and that's why they couldn't respond. So you were going to say something, Anderson. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
To answer your question, no. Hence Empress, they can't keep up with the call volume. Police department is shorthanded, and the fire department is keeping up. The fire department is impressively keeping up. But with emergency medical service and law enforcement, we have to do a little more better for the city. And in regards, and also with that, we have to remember that these police officers and these fire officers have been working without a contract for 3 years, almost going on 4. That's not going to have people wanting to join any of these agencies when they're seeing that the city doesn't care about them.
I hear they're going to get his contract soon. I hear they're going to get a good contract, actually.
I'm sorry. You know what my theory on that is, right? Go look at the dates of the contracts and the dates of the elections. That's my theory on that. I feel that they hold them hostage. And again, I could be wrong. Okay, I'm just saying my opinion is that they hold these contracts hostage until they want to run, or, you're saying 3 years, right? We're going on the next election. So he made sure to settle it right before the last election, so they weren't at the city hall protesting the term extension. Okay, now
they did the first time.
Right, but they gave in. They made the contract so that the city hall wasn't filled. I think there was only the Teamsters there at the time, but there was nobody else because I was there.
The police, protested the term extension last time?
No, they didn't. They got their contract.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they're holding the contracts, whether it's teachers, whatever, hostage this way when they're finally ready to, like, say now, eliminate term limits. Let's still settle it. Let's get it all settled. Everybody happy. When the reality is you should be settling it anyway because it's the right thing to do.
Right. Well, it's politics, right? It's a politics, and they play that game. They do that with all the different unions. It seems, a lot of the CSEA members have complained to me, even though Alberto, the president, is mad at me, but the members call me, they complain. They play the politics game with them. And, people just want to get paid. People just want their checks. People just want a contract. They want to feel secure, and they don't want to play the games. These are not the, multimillionaires that are running the show. These are people that are, many times living check to check, and they need their money, And I'm not talking about the firemen, I'm talking about, but a lot of the CSEA workers, which are, employees of the schools. And another thing I did want to mention is the bus monitor situation. Schools are without bus monitors, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And a kid got dropped off at the wrong stop. A pre-K student, 3-year-old, was left at the top of Prescott and Nodine Hill by herself, and the bus took off, and she started screaming. Imagine that.
You could do a whole session on that, from back when they had those employees stealing from transportation and saying kids were showing up with the homeless children when they weren't. It's just a mess. You need a leader in there that, and I'm not talking about Casada, okay? I'm talking about a leader at the helm that's going to come in here and make sure that when he puts different heads that, that they're able to do their jobs, and then it's not just because, like Sam Borelli, let's just throw him in there because we can get what we want. Now, meanwhile, they went and hired, I think I told you this, they went and hired, from what I heard, somebody underneath him that does have a degree.
Yeah, he does. He has an engineering degree. I wanted to ask Anderson, I saw the firemen over at City Hall. Was it yesterday, Carolyn, I believe? They were there. What was that about? Tell me.
So, like I was mentioning earlier, they're were in talks as of yesterday with the city for new contracts. The firefighters, Local 628, they got a new contract, but the UFOA, Uniform Fire Officers Association, which are the lieutenants, captains, and chiefs, as well as the commissioner for the fire department, they have not been able to successfully click into a new contract with the city. Now they were shut down again, and they can't be seen by the city until October, uh, middle of October of next month. It's September 15th, so the city has pushed it back another month
for their contract negotiation.
for their contract negotiations.
And so that's why they were there. I thought it was something about a new fire truck and the budget cuts, or they were going to cut some budget, but then they decided not to. So now they can get a new fire truck.
So originally, they are receiving 2 new fire trucks. The one off of Bronx, off of Tuckahoe Road and Central Park Avenue. Just one's a special operations unit, one's is a ladder company. They're receiving that, but there was additional apparatus in the new approved budget, as well as the new firehouse that's going to be torn down. But
is that for sure? Because some people are saying that's not for sure. The new firehouse that they just built on School Street.
The check is there. The check is there. The city hasn't decided on whether to do it. I don't know. It was really hush hush until we put it out there.
We blew it up.
So we blew it up. Yeah. So
blew it up.
What's gonna happen next? We don't know. But now that the attention is there, the $40 million horrible mistake, that not a mistake, but a $40 million investment that they made is gonna be torn down and built across the street, which was originally what everyone insinuated to do.
Well, that's what the developers get, what the developers want here in the city of Yonkers. And so, I wanted Carolyn and Anderson really quick because about 14 minutes. Did you want to mention that rally, Anderson? I wanted to talk about that. And the rally that was a bust for the term limits.
So I wanna go there, but I want to talk before that.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about Brian. You have that picture where he mentioned me, where he mentioned us.
Oh yes, I'll look for it while you can go ahead.
So I've never been mentioned by him. I know him. I know him from when before I started Inside Yonkers, when I was with the pedal filming around Yonkers. The guy is weird, man. I don't know why he mentioned me. I don't know why he's tooling around with you. He's always intimidated. And I want to let all of our viewers know we are not in the business of bashing anybody. We talk about Empress, for example. We're not talking about the EMTs, right, paramedics. We're talking about the administration and what they're doing. We're not here to bash anybody. Yonkers Voice, I don't care about Yonkers Voice. Yonkers Newswire, what they want is for us to give them attention. Us put their names out there.
They get paid by the elected officials, and it's just important that everybody knows that. Yonkers Voice, the Yonkers Newswire, the Yonkers Tribune, they get paid by the elected officials, and to be used as a weapon to promote them, to put certain stories out, to make things appear a certain way. And so it's you must not fall for that, because it's all politics. It's a political game, and so they want certain people to look bad, so they'll put out these negative, and they're completely false, right? Just like they started mentioning you, and the reason why they mention you is because you're doing the city talk, you're doing it with me, we're talking about what's happening in Yonkers, so they got to attack you.
Well, they got their 10 seconds of cloud. But anyways, Marie Scott, it's in consideration. Remember, for years it was supposed to be a stadium, a college baseball stadium, and then they wanted it to be luxury apartments. Then they took that corner to build the firehouse because the fire department got on their asses about it, or their butts, sorry. And now the developers have a signed check for the city with the money, and they're just waiting for the city to say, yes, we'll pay for this. And they'll pay to build a new firehouse. But it's $40 million that did go to taxpayers.
And so that's what I mean. It's all about the developers. Like someone said here, they need more affordable housing. They need more low-income housing, right? And instead of doing right for the people that were here, we're going to just push the people out here. We're going to change it. We're going to make it nicer, but we're going to push the people out, right, that are here, and then we're going to bring in new people, because at the end of the day, and you can look this up, developers make money on luxury rentals. They don't make money on affordable housing or low income housing unless the government is going to subsidize it heavily. And that's just an increase on taxes, which other people have to burden, not the developers, but, people that own homes that work every day, to get that home, and then you look at what's happening on Warburg, and Trevor Park is going to go. The JFK Marina, what do they want to do there at the power plant? Most people don't realize that they're looking to actually do a casino, a waterfront casino, and they want to put a 22 slip marina for yachts. I don't know how many people in Yonkers own a yacht. I know I don't. I wish, but I don't. And that's what they want to do. They want to do a catering thing where they're going to serve food that's $300 a plate, right, and a floating stage that moves around to bring in these big acts. And one of the first acts they thought about bringing in was Coldplay. I don't know, maybe Coldplay's big in Yonkers, but definitely, not in Northwest Yonkers. I'm not sure. I'm not saying people might not like it, but that just goes to show where they're thinking, where they're heading. And, and if people don't speak out this year and this coming year, which is very big, and I don't want to get into too much politics, but it all has to do with politics, really. You have to come out and vote. District 1, District 3, District 5, and the mayor's seat are all up for re-election, and they're looking to possibly have the terms eliminated. And if they do, that means that all those that are termed out can run again. Like the mayor would be able to run again. Corazon Pineda, whose district is District 2, which includes the No Dine Hill section, right, where there's a lot going on there. It doesn't seem like people care. I've seen a fire hydrant on a straight on its side broken. It was like that for a week in the No Dine Hill section. And that's very dangerous, right? They can run again, right? Although she's not up actually for re-election next year, but when she would be able to run again. But the mayor would be able to run again. And so I don't know, what do people want? Do people want to see Mayor Spano run again, or do they want to keep term limits in place? And so someone created a rally, right, and they included you in it, and it was a bogus rally, and they try to say that we created it, in order to get people to come out to protest against the term eliminations, right? And then they said, oh, nobody showed up to your silly rally, but it wasn't us. We don't know who did it, and we think it was all a scam, and it's very strange.
It's a scam, definitely a scam. It's probably Brian,
Yeah, I think it's Brian, but it's definitely some other individuals along with Brian, people that are politically connected. And what they say here is, hey, hey, ho, 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 the only village idiot shows up for the hated protest at Yonkers City Hall. The village idiot should have contacted Rue Rose of Yonkers Voice and Yonkers Newswire to let him know about the event, but they knew about it. Then he asked, where was all these bunch of people, including you? Where were you at, right? But it was a scam. And the reason what they wanted to do is have no one show up. So then they could say, look, nobody showed up. That means that people want to see terms eliminated. And they could just keep running and 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 running.
You see how he writes?
Yeah.
It's
we need to live like we could afford. We live for the rent, and I'm not paying $3,000 rent. I want to comfortable. I don't want this. I don't want Spano at all. Well, it's not just Spano.
Really
also, you look at Tasha Diaz. Tasha Diaz is up for re-election next year. She is the reason why there isn't a more affordable housing. She prevented it from going from 10% to 10 to 20%. And it would have required the developers to add that 20% into those buildings, right? Which doubling the number. But the one is now, they don't even have to add 10%. They could do 5%, put some money into a fund. We don't know where that money goes. It's supposed to go to build more apartments, but where? Right? And all they really did was renovate the ones that are already there. And then, so while they renovated, they pushed people out, right? Did they bring the people back in? Think about that trick. Think about that trick. That was a trick. That was a trick. They got them out. They said, we're going to renovate cottage gardens. We're going to get them out, the chicken coops over there. And then they got all new people in. They did this whole lottery thing with the vouchers.
First, then tore it down.
Yeah. And then they played people and they said, oh, here's a lottery. But the lottery was just to get on a waiting list. It wasn't even for a voucher. So what they did was they were selective, and people were like, well, I was already waiting. But what they want to do is filter. They're filtering out people that they want. They said, we're going to have some low income and some affordable, but we're also going to be selective of the people that we keep. The rest of y'all can get out of Yonkers pretty much.
You have low income, you get federal money, grant money.
They need to get Tasha out. That's right, because she switched on the people. She flipped on the people, man. She's all for the developers, and now she spends her time with the developers with a shovel. And let me tell you, folks, if Tasha Diaz, if everybody that's in office now does not get reelected, the food distribution will not stop. I promise you that. They will still be giving out food. Don't make them believe it. Believe them that it's them why it's happening. Okay, no, they're just standing there while while folks get food and say, hey, vote for me, vote for me. They get their info, they get their email, vote for me, vote for me. That's why they do it. But that's always going to be there. It's not going to go anywhere. So don't think you have to vote in these individuals who killed the housing ordinance in order to get the food distribution, because I know there's a lot of people that are in need. And believe me, we'll definitely make sure we keep that going. Yonkers people need to have a place to express their opinion on what's happening, right or wrong, and also on the jobs that politicians are doing or not doing. There should not be retaliation or retribution for that. Harrods tags names and prompts a reaction to his page, wants to shut down any disagreement with the status quo. Just wrong, wrong, wrong. That's what he does. He wants to intimidate and shut people down, and he's paid for that. He's paid for that. $75 an ad. So
I'll tell you a secret not many people know. Before Inside Yonkers, I was helping Ben, whatever name he wants to go by.
Right.
Him and Brian, they drive around the city all day long off of disability checks. So I want to make it very clear. These guys just go around asking people for money to put their names on their pages. We don't do that. We'll never do that. They're paid. We're genuine. We're factual. And we're on point. Nobody has to worry. In fact,
if you got information that's really good too, I'll pay you for it. Why did they get paid for your information? Could you give it to them for free? So if it's good, we'll pay you for it. I'll pay you for it. You can reach me at politicswithfred@gmail.com. Right? We're here for the people. That's why Anderson and I are doing this. We want to give it to you honest, straight, raw, real, no holds bars. Tasha Diaz, I don't pick her because I personally dislike her. She flipped on the people. I'm for the people. You killed the housing ordinance.
Yeah.
Yep. And she lives in affordable housing. That's crazy. She lives in affordable housing, but she says, I don't want more affordable housing. I don't want other people to get it. I got it. I'm good.
Makes no sense.
No, that's crazy. How you kill it for other people and you getting full benefits from it, but you kill it for other people, yo. That's messed up because the developers are funding her and she's doing what the developers want. It's not about the people, and that's messed up. And and there's 4 black women on the city council. You would think so much more would be happening for the blacks and Hispanics and for everybody, right? We talk about equality and social justice and all this stuff, BLM on the street, but they're pushing people out. They're forcing small businesses to go, right? They got Starbucks. They're pushing. That's going to impact Bougie Brews, I believe, right? The Starbucks, unfortunately.
Of course. It's a shame.
Yeah.
They have it's ridiculous, man. You have Paxos that's gonna be impacted,
Yeah, it's sad, man. But that's what's happening, folks. So I want to know what people think about it. I would love to see the comments. How do you feel about the developments? I've seen some people gave their comments. We appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, everyone needs to come out and vote. Absolutely, William. Everyone needs to come out and vote. It's like Puff Daddy's vote or die next year, man. Vote or die. Vote or get pushed out. Because I promise you, ultimately, the prices are going to keep going up. So if you're there now and affording it and then you're kind of close, it's going to go up. And, so it's not really for the people here. They don't, even if you could kind of afford it, they don't really want that. They putting 20 more movie studios. That's what they said, 20 more movie studios. Where are they going to put those? Probably where your building is right now. Probably where you're living right now. Keep it real, guys. Keep doing the right thing. Tell it like it is. Thank you. And by the way, again, I want to know how many, because they said that people want to see terms eliminated. I would love to really know what the people think about that, man.
I think a lot of people don't want it to happen.
They don't want it. They want term limits.
We've been getting from our comments and stuff, both on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Not a lot of people want Spanos to win, and they want term limits to stay in. Before we do take off today, though, I want to remind everybody Yonkers Force is playing Carmel tomorrow at Roosevelt at 3:30 p.m.
Yonkers Force.
Yonkers Force with Carmel
versus Carmel. Oh yeah, I know about Carmel, and that's tomorrow at 3 at Roosevelt. Say it again.
3:30 at Roosevelt.
3:30 at Roosevelt. And I want to try to get out to one of those games. So if I get out there, I'll do some live filming and stuff and put it on the page and stuff, because we definitely want to support the sports programs and stuff. And I'm hoping that I could do something with the Yonkers Public Schools in a partnership, because how many people would love to see like bands, right, for the high school kids, and they could do a battle of the bands between the different high schools. How dope would that be,
They
man?
used
So
to. You don't remember that?
no, man, I don't remember that. And I don't, I just remember all the people saying, we don't have anything for the schools. We need stuff for the schools. When I was I left Yonkers when I was in ninth grade. Riverside was called Museum School back then when I left, and so I was out for a while, but I came back. And so I'm back to help the community, give back to my community. I was blessed a little bit in life, so I want to give back to my community and help out. My name is Freddy Vazquez. If you don't know who I am, I do basement politics. Thank you, Anderson. I do want to say that I have a college and careers program, and that I'm offering from students for 9th to 12th grade this fall. Saturdays, I want to do this. I want to talk about, careers. What do you want to do? If you're not looking to go to college, then what do you want to do? Let's get you into a trade. You are interested in becoming an electrician, becoming a plumber, maybe a law. You're interested in that, get at me. I can hopefully see if I can partner you up with somebody who's already doing that, and we're also going to talk about, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, investment. People are interested in real estate investment, something that I do. So if you're interested in that, I definitely want to talk about that. The stock market, it's all about managing money, all about succeeding, becoming successful. Whether you want to go to college, we can talk about different majors, that you can choose from, different universities, how you should go. Because listen, if you want to be a teacher, you don't need to go to the most expensive school. You just have to get the degree so that you don't put yourself in that much debt. Sometimes people go overboard, right? So just understanding these factors, but you do need a degree to be a teacher, right? So talking about different things like that, or what you don't need a degree for. I have an MBA. I have several businesses, but I didn't need a degree for that, right? But still, I like the fact that I'm the first in my family to have a master's and an MBA. So I want to help other young people break the cycle of poverty. So reach out to me at fvazquez at pushworldwide.org, or at politicswithfred@gmail.com if you're interested, if you're a student, right? And also if you're someone looking for a job, you're looking to learn a new industry, a new business, something where you can make over 100 grand, come at me. I'm looking to train people. And I wanted to get that out on this platform, because that's what we're looking to do here in the community, is give back, help people. I can provide some of the knowledge, some of the tools. You ultimately have to do the work. But I definitely want to just put that out there, because we're all about community building.
We also have the Facebook group called Inside Yonkers Full-Time, Part-Time Jobs. We put all job postings on our regular page, our Instagram, Twitter, and the group. So we're on top of it. When you're looking for a job, just go to that group. We have all the current job postings in Westchester, New York City, and especially Yonkers. So just go in that group, join it, and you'll find something. Promise you.
That's September,
good. In White Plains, talking about that, in White Plains on Saturday, let me pull it up. On Saturday, the post office is hiring. They're trying to hire over 23,000 seasonal positions, and everybody needs to go there. It's a good paying job. Remember, everybody gets discouraged when they hear seasonal, but if you do a good job and you're a legit, genuine worker,
right,
that can end up being a full-time job. You can end up staying there,
Absolutely. You got to start somewhere, and I started at the very bottom, trust me, man. And I wanted it, and I did what I had to do. I worked hard, I went the distance. And that's just the one thing that I see sometimes in people lacking, is the drive, the motivation to get up and go out and go the extra mile. Some people want the money, they want to be successful, but are they willing to put the work in? And that's what separates those from the ones that succeed from the ones that don't.
So I have it pulled up now. We have it posted. We're gonna put it up again tonight. It's Saturday, September 17th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Westchester P&DC at 1000 Westchester Avenue in White Plains. They're looking for 28,000 seasonal employees for the upcoming holiday season. Across the nation, they're hiring for 1,000 drivers as well as letter carriers and processing team members.
And that's the post office.
Yep. Remember, don't get discouraged with the seasonal. It can end up being a lifetime job. It's on your part to do good. We'll post it up tonight again.
Absolutely. And share it on my pages as well. You know, feel free to always share that stuff, Anderson, because I like promoting stuff like that. And I actually post it up. I occasionally from time to time post up some stuff that I have work. Like I had some work for tomorrow. I needed 2 guys. You know, I got 2 people that called me up. You know, I do construction, demolition stuff, debris removal and all that. So, you know, if you're into sales also, get at me, man. This is what changed my life. What I do now, I have my own business in it, but it changed my life at one point. So I'm here to help the youth. So Anderson, thank you very much. I appreciate you, man, what you're doing. You know, I appreciate you coming up with this idea here, doing this together. So thank you so much. This is City Talk. And I'll let you take it, close this out.
Thank you, everybody. See you guys next week. We'll have plenty of talk. And good luck to Yonkers Forest tomorrow. And remember, we'll post that job posting. And also, real quick, if you are a SNAP recipient this month, if you haven't gotten your SNAP yet, you get an additional $95. That's very helpful. $95 helps. So I just felt like everybody needs to know. In New York State, if you're a SNAP recipient, you do get an extra $95 this month. And it's only this
Everybody
month.
gets that.
Everybody, as long as you get EBT SNAP. All right.
There
if
you go.
Haven't gotten it already.
That's good. And so there you go, folks. So thank you, folks, for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us. Anderson, I'm Freddy Vazquez. This is City Talk. This was episode 2. We'll see you next week, Thursday at 8 o'clock. Take care, folks. Have a good night. Thank you, folks, for joining us. I'm Freddy Vazquez. You can also catch me on Basement Politics on Facebook and YouTube. I'm the guy that's known for telling it like it is. If you have a story or anything, get at me. If you want me to look into something, building, elevator not working, hasn't been working for a while, a fire hydrant is broken in front of your house or building, anything, any safety concern, let me know. I'll take a look at it and I'll get them right on it. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Check me out on Basement Politics. And once again, please check me out if you're interested. If you have a student or you are a student, 9th to 12th grade, reach out to me for the college and careers program. I want to see kids succeed, break the cycle of poverty, be the first to be a millionaire in your family. I'm Freddy Vazquez. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for joining us.